Hi, thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to review and assess my capstone presentation. I hope you find it well versed and easy to follow. My name is Keith Slider, and the title of my capstone is Mountain Lions Impacted by Suburban Sprawls. My personal purpose of choosing this subject is to emphasize how wildlife is becoming endangered due to habitat loss and fragmentation. Residential communities and land development have been developed without considering the impact to wildlife. Residential housing development, mostly in predominantly undeveloped suburban areas, are widespread and expanding globally with far reaching consequences for biodiversity and human well being. Habitat loss and habitat fragmentations are two primary threats to terrestrial biodiversity, including species like the mountain lion. When these species periodically return to these communities, citizen groups commonly crying out that they pose a threat to the safety of the communities. They rarely admit that humans have systematically encroached on wildlife habitat. Wildlife habitat must be integrated and prioritized within every newly constructed residential community to prevent habitat loss. Emphasis should be placed on preserving their habitat and conserving their numbers. Emphasis should also be placed on making sure that homeowners are aware of efforts of prioritizing these species in an effort of maintaining these species. I would like to take a moment to thank the following individuals that have been invaluable in helping me make this capstone a success. Michael Clayton of MDC, which is the Missouri Department of Conservation, Patrick Peltz of the Missouri Department of Natural Resources Kansas City Regional Office, and Dr. J, of course, for her instructions. My wife in her support and patience while I complete this coursework and this project. Mr. Clayton specifically has been really helpful in picking up the pieces during this pandemic and internally contacting people within his organization to help because of the time constraints that have come about because of the natural progression of the class. Mr. Peltz has also been extremely helpful in his role to serve as a local liaison for the Missouri Department of Conservation and help with any local things that I needed, including assisting with access agreements and fieldwork. A great deal of his work was volunteering for the sheer love of our profession. Thanks, Pat. Dr. J, thanks for the challenging project and the direction that you have given me along the way. I am reassured that this project, though challenging, will serve to benefit the communities I work with and the state as well. Population growth and increased land development has placed huge stress on local wildlife habitat, either forcing their displacement or threatening their extinction. The implications of human population growth and increased land development is huge. It includes habitat loss, habitat fragmentation, the possibility of endangering species, and other losses of resources for those species. Is the mountain lion impacted by suburban sprawls? For the most part, mountain lions are harmless creatures that have found themselves endlessly competing for habitat and other resources to survive. As recent as 1920, the mountain lion was virtually extinct in the Kansas City area. It wasn't until about a decade ago the local university wildlife biologists indicated that they were on the verge of resurging as a healthy, viable population. The question surrounding this research is the mountain lion truly impacted by human suburban sprawls and human land use development? The concepts from landscape ecology that are mostly related to my research question include the hierarchy theory, population dynamic, population growth rates, specifically the Malthusian growth model, and the matrix population models. Mountain lions have the largest home ranges of any land mammal in America, spanning anywhere from 30 to 125 square miles in habitats from mountains to swamps, especially in Missouri. They're highly intelligent and elusive animals who primarily eat elk and deer. They often avoid humans and rarely engage in violent human encounters. For literally decades, mountain lions have wrongly been targeted as a species that are of danger to humans. However, the reverse may be true. My question for the capstone research is the mountain lion truly impacted by human suburban sprawls and human land use and development? Why should we care? We should care about the question to this question because as natural resource managers, we must make decisions on maintaining and sustaining habitat for our wildlife. Further, we want to know if human activity, including suburban and rural land development and construction, are truly impacting the mountain lions. Even further, with the dramatic increase in newly developed residences in suburban areas, we want to know to what degree human activity is impacting them, if any. The mountain lion is characterized as a notoriously quiet and elusive predator. This one here is shown in California, was taken in California, and as you can see, he has a monitoring device around his neck prior to being released. The mountain lion is an apex predator that inhabits heavily vegetated areas. As mentioned previously, for literally decades, mountain lions have wrongly been targeted as a species that are of danger to humans. However, the reverse may be true. Mountain lions went extinct in the early 1920s, but are slowly making a comeback. And since 1994, there have been approximately 28 sightings of mountain lions in the state of Missouri. Of these 28 sightings, 18 were confirmed by the Missouri Department of Conservation. DNA samples collected from mountain lions sighted and subsequently captured indicated that they originated from as far as 800 miles away. Mountain lions in the Kansas City area are believed to have dispersed from the Pine Hill Ridge of Nebraska and from the Black Hills of South Dakota. This slide shows how much the mountain lion ranks in comparison of size to an actual bobcat. The mountain lion is notoriously victimized by habitat loss. They have experienced catastrophic decline, some of which due to habitat loss from construction. Human deaths from mountain lion attacks are extremely rare. Between 1907 and 1963, approximately 12,000 mountain lions were killed. There are approximately 20 to 40,000 remaining in the U.S. Human deaths from mountain lions attacks are extremely rare. However, their sightings seem to incite fear in humans. The region of study for this project is the Kansas City, Jackson County, Missouri. Both the topography and the climate makes for an ideal conditions for a fruitful habitat of the mountain lion. The climate in the Kansas City area is considered moderate. The summers are hot and muggy, temperatures ranging 80 degrees Fahrenheit to 92 degrees Fahrenheit. Summer temperatures rarely get above 99 degrees. The winters are cold and dry, ranging from about 7 degrees to 24 degrees. With the previous extinction of the mountain lion, for slightly under 100 years, the deer population has virtually grown without a predator and makes for an excellent food source for the mountain lion. Additionally, weather conditions within the Midwest, including the promotions for overgrowth of vegetation in remote and excluded areas serve as an excellent cover for the mountain lion. Habitat fragmentation is an anthropogenic landscape modification process. It is a main threat to the terrestrial biodiversity. For the purposes of this capstone 2, I have focused on habitat fragmentation because it is the primary type of habitat loss that results in so many dysfunctions of biodiversity, extinction, inbreeding, and biological fitness of species. Even further, the primary distinction of habitat fragmentation and other forms of habitat loss is that it is anthropogenic. As I mentioned previously, the mountain lion is an apex predator. It is fondly called the puma, catamount, cougar, and the panther. These names often create undue ridicule and unjustified public anxiety of the mountain lion. Dispersal patterns of the male and female are believed to be substantially different from each other. The young male mountain lion has a tendency to disperse at a higher rate than the female and has a tendency to resist settling into a home range until he finds a suitable mate. Population growth rate, including birth, death rate, infant mortality rate, biological fitness of the mountain lion, is problematic to calculate without an accurate methodology. Mark and recapture is more than likely the best means of gathering data on the mountain lion. Traditional methods of analyzing mark and recapture data, however, do not account for the spatial variations in sampling. Currently, no published literature currently exists on factors affecting mountain lion detection rates in a mark and recapture survey. Additionally, the temporal scale may be the best for my topic because sightings of the mountain lion is somewhat limited due to its elusivity. This capstone emphasizes how mountain lions are becoming endangered due to the loss of habitat and habitat fragmentation due to land development. Wildlife habitat, specifically the mountain lion, should be given priority over residential development because they are an apex predator. Because of the huge losses that have been experienced by wildlife habitat must be integrated and prioritized. Emphasis should be placed on preserving their habitat and conserving their numbers. Emphasis should also be placed on making sure that residential buyers are aware of efforts of prioritizing these species in an effort of maintaining these species. Thank you.